English translation, 50th contact. Tuesday, 6th of April, 1976, 1.37 hours.
You have brought many friends. It is dangerous and conspicuous.
They are very far down in the field. We drove here without lights.
That was very good because you are being watched. Already at the level crossing, I had to make you wait because a man followed you with his car. I switched off his vehicle before leaving the forest by supplying the car engine with a magnetic current.
Aha! It was like a car had stopped in the woods.
Certainly that it was. But there are other vehicles on the way looking for you and us.
What do you mean, us?
I am here with 5 of our reconnaissance ships which analyze everything. There are some things going on that we cannot explain yet. Anyway, it is about us and you being investigated.
Is this maybe related to the unexpected fireworks you gave after the last contact?
With certainty because the light track is visible from afar, but I wanted to give your friends Schutzbach and Birchinger a spectacle because they are very committed to our cause.
You did not tell me you wanted to do that before, did you? By the way, I have never seen it myself. May I see that sometime?
Sure, this opportunity shall also be offered to you.
Well, thank you very much. Mr. Schutzbach made me a good drawing of his sighting, so I can imagine everything approximately. I can imagine that everything has to look like a glistening sun. But do you not have any other options? I mean other manifestations and colors of such light works?
Sure, they exist for us.
Then can you do something else?
Sure, I will do my best.
Thanks.
When you leave again, please be very careful. Go on foot and lead your motorcycle beside you without light.
Listen, it is a moped, a pre-alpine sniffer, or a Christian chaser, but it is not a motorcycle. I will be careful, though, and I will not turn on the lights.
That is good.
What do you mean, why is that?
We must first clarify what is happening. We do not yet know why you are being followed, but in any case, it is connected with us, that is for sure. Except we do not know exactly what the background is yet. It is appropriate, however, that in the future we finally avoid the surroundings of Hinwil and that I do not come to the contacts in this area anymore.
That means I must know again how far to go.
Sure, I am afraid that is unavoidable. We need to consider the best possible caution.
Too bad, but that was to be expected after the 2 light shows. The night always has open eyes and ears. You told me last Tuesday that the energy fire was about 170 meters long, is that so? Then it must have actually been visible from afar.
Certainly that is so.
Well, Mr. Schutzbach and Mr. Birchinger are still interested in how high in the sky you actually were when I arrived at their gun range again, and you suddenly disappeared into the sky.
According to your measurements, I was 22,000 meters high.
You know that for a fact?
Sure, I monitored your return trip back to your friends.
That is sweet of you. Were you so concerned about me?
You are asking? You with your broken ribs. I will let you be healed right now, and I do not want to argue with you about it.
You talk like a general.
It has to be, or you will refuse.
I can still do that.
Then you are really getting me agitated.
I do not want to, although I would like to know what you look like with an angry face. It still has to look lovely and nice. Can you be angry at all? Do you even know that in this form as we know it?
Sure, we are not above these things either. However, we are able to control ourselves much better, and accordingly, it takes longer before we lose control. But it is possible, and you should not take that chance.
But it would interest me, while watching your face for once.
You are a mystery. Now take off your outer clothing. Here, this device will regenerate your broken ribs. All you have to do is sit here between these 2 poles. The rib bones will be completely regenerated after the process. Nothing will indicate that they were broken anymore. So now sit in between. Yes, that is right, it must be so. Now stay in this position for a few minutes. The whole thing is very inflamed, especially the periosteum. Unfortunately, I cannot eliminate the inflammation with this device. It would probably need about 2 months to flatten out. I will make sure it heals next time with a special apparatus.
Thank you. That is enough, Simyase. When the bones are repaired and glued, the other one is just a trifle. It is bearable.
Sure, I do not want to rush you into that. I am glad the rib bones are healthy again. All right, that is enough. Yes, it is all good. Move a little. Oh, so yes, that is very good.
That is a big one. The biggest pain is gone.
It is supposed to be like this. But now please be careful in the future.
I will do my best. Can I put my clothes back on now?
Certainly.
Well, thank you very much, dear girl. You really are much more than just a very dear sister to me.
You honor me very much. I thank you for that.
I talk too much. I am sorry.
You are just being very honest.
Oh well, I have a lot more questions. Can I ask you?
Sure, just ask.
Thank you. Here, I have a whole list. The first question is, does the American government have spaceships and alien corpses in their possession?
They are in possession of certain destroyed materials from spaceships, as well as some dead bodies of dwarf alien human life forms. Intact spaceships and the like, however, are not in their possession. The available materials are kept under strictest secrecy, and only a few insiders are informed and oriented about them.
Is there not a danger that these things can be used to their advantage?
Everything is so destroyed and deformed that no significant findings can be derived from it, at least not yet. It is very strange to them.
That is comforting to know. The second question is, are there alien bases under Caluert or Cali West, Texas, and under the mountains near Salzburg and in Lake Constance?
None of the 3 places mentioned.
But it is said that extraterrestrials have a base there, especially under the mountains.
That is not so, however. All stations on the Earth are known to us. There is absolutely no doubt about that, so it is a certainty when I explain to you that there are no extraterrestrial bases, etc., underneath the mountain.
That is odd.
Why?
It has always been claimed that something of this form is there.
But that is not really the case. On the other hand, however, this may be connected with another station hidden there, namely that of a group of Earthlings who had secretly built a base there during the Second World War, deep in the cliffs where they could live and work. It was one of those groups that got their hands on plans by which they were able to produce beamship-like flying objects.
You are referring to the German flying saucers.
Certainly. However, their ships are still quite primitive and not space-capable. So they are still Earthbound, but here they have all kinds of possibilities. These Earth humans are also one of those groups that approach Earth humans and claim that they come from the stars with their saucer-shaped flying objects and are extraterrestrials. But this group is no longer in Europe, but like other groups in the South American region.
Oh, that is how it is.
Certainly.
Well, the next question. Does an artificial tunnel system exist under Ecuador, and is a large number of metal foils in the format 96 × 48 cm there, which are printed with unknown characters?
Underground tunnel systems from the past exist all over the world, including Ecuador. There, however, many of these tunnels collapsed due to the recent earthquakes in Guatemala. However, various Earth humans claim that these Ecuador tunnels are inhabited and connected to underground cities where extraterrestrials and other human life forms live. This, however, corresponds to a pure fantasy, which is evaluated in a mischievous and also maliciously profitable way.
Well, what about the metal foils?
There are no such things there or in the adjoining space that would be of extraterrestrial origin. There probably exist foils of the measurement you have referred to, but they were fraudulently made for unfair purposes by Earth humans a number of years ago.
This answer is clear. But what kind of characters are there on these man-made foils?
They were confusingly, but logically, made by a whole group of Earthlings for fraudulent charlatan purposes. But they are truthfully of complete insignificance. Adamski also worked in the same form, and also forged such characters for fraudulent purposes. Also, Mikulek and some others have indulged in the same lower machinations.
I can imagine that. But now that we are already on Adamski, has he ever seen a beam ship before? It has to be like this. Because how else could he have known that these look very similar to the ones he copied in his cardboard and metal models?
He has never seen a beam ship, which has been checked and verified by us very carefully. His knowledge leads back to a conversation with a person who was able to describe these forms of flying machines in detail. This person, however, remained silent about their observations to other people, which is why she never became known. It was a woman. Adamski made drawings according to her statements, after which he then copied his other drawings and models, etc., and photographed them fraudulently and spread them all over the world.
Aha! Then is it not the case that Adamski is simply called a cheater because of carelessness or incorrectness?
No, he was a vicious charlatan and cheater of the worst form.
That is very clear again. So there is no excuse whatsoever for him and his actions.
No, he was deceitful in the deepest depths of his yearnings.
Also good. Now in the desert of Nevada, a hill is supposed to turn occasionally by 90 degrees and then go back to the starting position. Why?
Is this some kind of joke?
No, I was actually asked that question for you. It is also meant seriously.
But it must be a joke, because if this alleged event were actually a real event, it would be a complete natural law-based adversity, which should be known to us without any doubt, because our geological forces register and analyze everything without the possibility of an exception. So this question can only be a bad joke.
How about a certain Franz Phillips?
Berlin, is it not?
Exactly. Is he known to you?
But certainly. An old man who jokingly fools his fellow humans with fantastic stories and claims that he has already built several spaceships since 1934 and with which he has traveled and explored several galaxies. He is a friendly old man who enjoys fooling around, but whose consciousness is sometimes confused. We have often been amused by his conduct. But his name and his existence are only known in small circles, and various Earth humans speak of him because they receive his name and his imaginative statements from somewhere, which they then pass on.
You have already answered all my questions about this funny gentleman. My next question comes from a Mr. Witzer in Nördingen-Siesischhausen in Germany. He asks if 2 UFO-interested people were to be interested in filming, and if it would be possible to give a small demonstration above Siesischhausen for the purpose of filming and photographing.
Your question is very illogical.
I did not make it.
Certainly. The task of filming and photographing has been assigned to you, and you have fulfilled it to the best of your ability. You had the opportunity to create the best footage that could ever be made on Earth. That is all it takes. If we had wanted other people for this task, we would have chosen them ourselves and not imposed the task on you. There should be nothing more to explain.
Of course, your answer is clear. But now the next question, which comes from the same source. Where to put terrestrial waste?
On our part, we have very little accumulation of waste. However, the resulting material is converted into usable soil and other substances in robot-operated conversion plants. This requires a very advanced technology of which the humans on Earth are not yet capable of. In relation to this, however, the Earth humans have a similar form of the transformation of waste into soil and other substances. However, this Earth technology functions on a completely different basis than ours. As far as I know, these converters work on the basis of incinerations, which, however, serve the same purpose. But this is very good, even if still quite primitive. But it serves the right purpose, namely that the material that becomes waste is transformed back to soil, etc., so that the soil itself can be restored to what has been taken from it before.
So you mean our incinerators?
You might call them that, yes, that is the proper way. Only the terrestrial human being must still improve these plants by a great deal, which, however, they are always in the process of doing.
Aha, then we are at least once with a thing on the right way, and do not build chaos in this regard. But now another question from the same source. Do you drink and smoke?
A typical Earthling question. No, smoking is unknown with us. Drinking, according to earthly terms, is also unknown to us, although we also have drinks that are similar to alcoholic beverages. Is this information enough?
I think so, thank you. But now a question from me. Have you found out anything about the strange 3 dots, through which I was bombarded by very negative rays in my workspace?
For this, we need a special device, which is already made by one of our technicians. We were unable to analyze anything with our previous equipment. You must still be somewhat patient.
Fine, I will wait. Have you already tackled the table for Mr. Rise in Munich?
Sure, but it is going to take some time. It is a bit difficult because I have to make them understandable to the Earth humans, and I cannot even explain some important points. I therefore had to get in touch with our High Council, which again turned to Arahat Athersata, who was to pass on to me what was necessary at his level.
Very good, but how long will it take for you to give me the table?
About 2 months at the earliest.
Okay, but what about Arahat Athersata's answer to me about the afterlife contacts?
You will get it. You will have to be patient.
All right, but what about all the dear friends I brought with me? Can you show yourself to them? You know, they are all waiting very anxiously to see if they can see anything. For certain they are standing in the field below in the biting cold and are shivering away a bit.
The 2 pictures were taken on the 14th of June, 1976, in Winkelried, near Wetzikon, and show almost the same image that Simyase produced with her beamship during the demonstration on the 6th of April, 1976. Left photo, Guido Moosbrugger. Right photo, Hans Schutzbach.
Sure, there are 6 people waiting and all very dear friends, the really good core of your group. They are all very kind and good, and I am happy to greet them all. Please explain this to them and pay them my deepest thanks for their good understanding and following my wish. I want to see that despite the danger, I can give them a little thanks by giving them a little demonstration.
I would like to comply with your wish. But tell me what is the wish they have to understand and follow. That would interest me. But only if it is allowed?
That is not exactly what it is, because it is supposed to be a secret.
Aha, probably some mystery between women in particular, or...
Sure, you have got it all figured out.
And you will not solve the riddle for me.
No, because it is really a secret that only 5 women can share.
5? Oh, well, of course you are still there because there are Miss Flammer, Mrs.
Certainly.
Then you contacted them?
In a sense, yes.
You are quite mysterious. Can I really not find out?
No, I do not want to give you a little jot. It is really a secret between us women. I am not joking.
Then it is really a secret. Well, then I do not want to know. I have to respect that.
You are just admirable sometimes.
You can save yourself the flowers. You know, but on the other hand, something else depresses me. Namely that I was getting a lot of help from these 4 women.
I know, but I do not want to talk about it. I am tired of talking to you about certain material things because you are simply incorrigible. For these things you have to be forced directly, although you often worry about your finances, which is right. But I do not want to blame you because I know the background very well, and I respect it very much. But you have simply become too anti-materialistic, which is why you have become simply unresponsive to these things, especially in recent times. On the one hand, this is very good, because it enables you to fulfill your task in all honesty without making mistakes. But on the other hand, you no longer see that you and your family also have to live, which unfortunately in the earthly world, one is very dependent on material values.
Now you have talked about it anyway, but if you do not want to go into it any further, then you have made your bed too.
Sure, and I only told you what had to be said.
Okay, you are simply radical.
Often one has to be like that.
Maybe you are right.
It is time for you to go. Remember my warning, we must be very careful.
Certainly, I will sneak around clandestinely. Goodbye. Oh, what I wanted to say. The new slides and film are exceptionally well done. Everything is very sharp and clear. All I'm missing now is another film.
This is very good, so now you have excellent material available. The rest of the film is also good in quality. It will arrive on Tuesday. Well, goodbye, dear friend, and do not forget to convey my dear greetings.
I hope that I remember. Otherwise, they will unfortunately only know when you have given me the report. But I want to make sure that I do not forget. Goodbye, Sim Yase.